सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। We are in chapter 6 and we have completed up to 20th sloka. Today we will revise the 20th sloka and go forward. Etroparamato chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra caivātmanātmānam pasyannātmani tushyati. Yoga sevaya niruddham chittam yatra uparamate cha eva yatra atmana atmanam pasyan atmani tushyati. Yatra, wherein, chittam, the mind, niruddham, niruddha means restrained. Yoga sevaya, by the practice of meditation. Uparamate, quietens. Cha yatra eva, wherein pasyan, one perceives atmanam, the atma. Atmana, with a pure mind, tushyati, rejoice. The meaning is like this. One should know that to be the samadhi. Paramatma is giving the definition. One should know that should be the samadhi. What is that? Wherein the mind, restrained by the practice of meditation, quietens, and wherein one perceives the Atma with the mind and rejoices in the very Atma. So here, Paramatma gave two definitions. From 20th sloka up to 23rd sloka, Paramatma gives various definitions. Some 7 definitions he gives regarding samadhi. Here he gives the definition of samadhi. Here he gives 2 definitions of samadhi. Chitta uparamanam is the first definition. Second definition is Atma Darsanam. Chitta Uparamanam is called Samadhi. Atma Darsanam is also called Samadhi. Kalidasa in his Kavitvam compared a jnani's mind with a calm and tranquil pond. Because in his times the jnanis were many. Now we have to really struggle to identify a jnani. So we are doing the reverse. A jnani's mind is like a quietened pond. Chitta uparamana means the mind is, so much agitated. When you sit in meditation, all your troubles, all your worries will hover around. So it will not allow you to concentrate on the meditated object. Whereas for a jnani, for a good meditator, he restrains all indriyas and he will not allow indriyas to run outside. Instead, he makes all indriyas inward, his mind inward, so that he attains concentration on the meditated object. This kind of inward nature is called chitta uparamanam, keeping the mind inward. Earlier, what was the situation? His mind is always outwardly projected. It is always attracted towards outside things. Now, because of the chitta uparamanam, the mind has become antarmukham. That means more inwardly it has become. So it concentrates on the object of meditation. This is what we call chitta uparamanam. Then Atma darsanam. Atma darsanam is Atmanam pasyan is the word used. One has to look into the Atma. How he has to look at the Atma? Atmana, with a pure mind, with the mind only he has to understand. He has to realize the Atma. With the mind only he has to realize the Atma means Atmana, the word is given because Atmana gives. Atmana is not the Satchidananda Paramatma. Atmana means the mind here. This emphasizes one has to contemplate. One has to think on Atma. If one truncates the mind, one makes the mind blank, one cannot contemplate. Therefore, Atmana, Atmanam pasyan. That means by the mind only one has to look at the Atma. Look at the Atma means contemplate on Atma. This is called Atma Darsanam. By Atma Darsanam, one can understand the real nature of oneself. So, when he understands the real nature of his own self, then he knows that he is not the body, he is not the mind, he is not the sense organs. So, he is different from body, mind, sense complex. Then who is he? He is that Chaitanyam. He is that Atma. He is that Satchidananda Paramatma. Sat Chit Anandam is his own Swarupam. So having understood his real self, he should stay in that reality. This is what we call Atma Darsanam. So in the 20th sloka, Paramatma has given two definitions of Samadhi. Samadhi means to concentrate on the object of meditation. So here the definition of Samadhi is Chitta Uparamanam, restraining the mind or making the mind Antarmukham. The second definition is Atma Darsanam, to realize one's own real self and stay in that reality. So, this is what we call Chitta Uparamanam and Atma Darsanam. So, we'll go to the 21st sloka. Sukhamātyantikaṃ yattadbuddhigrāhyamatīndriyam vetti yatra na caivāyaṃ sthitaścalati tattvataḥ. Yatra yattadbuddhigrāhyam atīndriyam ātyantikaṃ sukham vetti. Yatra ca sthitaścalati tattvataḥ nayeva calati. Yatra vetti, wherein one appreciates tad ātyantikaṃ sukham, that limitless ananda. Yat atindriyam, which is beyond the sense organs. Buddhigrāhyam, and which is grasped by the intellect. Cha eva sthitaḥ, and remaining in that state, ayam na calati, the jnani will not slip. tattvataḥ. Tattvataḥ means from his very true nature. Atma darshanam we have already explained in the previous sloka. So having realized the real self, he stayed in that nishtha, he will not fall down. So that is the sloka 21. In this also, Paramatma gives two more definitions. Total 7 definitions he is going to give. Already 2 definitions are over, 2 more definitions are going to come. So the third definition here is ātyantika sukham, the highest ananda one owns up. Ātyantika means limitless. Sukham means anandam. Ananda means fulfillment, which is totally different from experiential sense pleasures. All the experiential sense pleasures are finite. They come and go. They are in terms of time, in terms of place, in terms of quality. Qualitatively, they are finite. Spatially, they are time-wise. Therefore, this is evident that the ananda we get outside is finite. The finitude makes the ananda temporary. We don't enjoy that anandam forever. So every experiential pleasure is time bound. That's why people always say that day I had great joy. They use past tense, indicating that then it was there. So we are not talking about the experiential pleasure. Then what it is? Paramatma says buddhigrāhyam. It is the ananda born out of knowledge. Buddhi means intellect or knowledge. It is an ananda born of wisdom, born of knowledge. What knowledge? I am Purnaha. I was Purnaha. I will ever be Purnaha. So this knowledge that I am Purnaha is recognized in the buddhi. When buddhi understands my real nature, it will not fade. I can stay in that nishtha. See, it is like this. You have got the knowledge that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. This knowledge you have when you are happy or when you are unhappy. This knowledge will not fade away from your buddhi. So 2 plus 2 is always 4, irrespective of your emotions, irrespective of your events, irrespective of your odds in the life. So any experience cannot displace this knowledge. Therefore, my ananda comes from wisdom. That knowledge can never be shaken. It is that purnatvam, that fulfillment, that sense of fulfillment born of wisdom is called ātyantikam. Ātyantikam sukham. So which is buddhigrāhyam, which is generated in buddhi. Therefore, only ātyantikam. It is beyond the sense pleasures, because sense pleasures are invariably finite. Therefore, the third definition of samadhi is what? Ātyantika sukham. When you own up that reality, you realize that you are Purna Purushaha. You are whole and complete. You don't need anything outside to fill you. So Paramatma used the verb vetti. This in the second line, the verb vetti is there. That verb has to be connected to the first line, and you have to make the sentence complete. So Paramatma did not use the word experiencing this ananda. He has used the word knowing this, you will get ananda. By knowing this, you will get ananda means it is the knowledge which makes you realize your real self. It is not the ananda you get, when you are in the vyavahara world. When you sit in an AC, you get sukham and anandam. That anandam is temporary. It is an experiential anandam. Here, Paramatma is talking about the ātyantika anandam. By knowing that you are Purna Purusha, you get this anandam. So this is the third one. Then this is a kind of advantage. You get a feeling of fulfillment. A jnani always feels that his life is full of enjoyment. Then comes the fourth definition, what we call sthita prajna or tattva nishta. Yatra sthitaḥ tattvataḥ na calati. So remaining in this and abiding in this Atma Nishta, one does not deviate into an Atma because he has trained to abide in Atma. Like a person who learns cycling. You might have learned during the young days. When you learn cycling, a person will be behind you in your childhood. All of us, we have learned cycling. So a person will be holding the cycle so that we don't fall. He tells you all do's and don'ts, and we listen meticulously and learn and religiously fall. In spite of the defeats, we again stand up and pedal the bicycle and learn the cycling. Once you know the cycling, there is no need for you to think of balancing and pedaling and all. It goes everything automatic. So in the same way, the jnani will be in the tattva nishta because he has trained his mind in such a way that it should stay in that nishta. So that tattva nishta he achieves over a period of time by abhyasam. So this is called sthita prajna tattva nishta, the fourth definition of samadhi. We have completed 4 definitions. The first definition is chitta uparamanam. The second one is atma darsanam. The third one is ātyantika sukham. The fourth one is tattva nishta or sthita prajnaha. We'll proceed to sloka number 22nd. Yam labdhvā cāparaṃ lābhaṃ manyate nādhikaṃ tataḥ yasminsthito na duḥkhena guruṇāpi vicālyate. Yam ca labdhvā tataḥ adhikam aparam lābhaṃ na manyate yasminthito guruṇāpi duḥkhena na vicālyate. Yam labdhvā, one should know that to be the samadhi, attaining which na manyate, one does not consider aparam lābhaṃ adhikam tataḥ. So one understands there is no other attainment which is superior to this attainment of Atmanishta. Atmanishta is the highest achievement in the life, and he doesn't consider anything else as the superior Nishta. So one should know that to be the Samadhi, attaining which one does not consider any other attainment to be superior to that, and remaining in which one is not shaken even by the great calamity. Here Paramatma gives two more definitions. When a person owns up this Purnatvam of Atma, I am Purnaha, I do not lack anything in the life, I do not need anything in the life to be complete. When I own up that Purnatvam, thereafter I do not miss anything in the life. And since I do not miss anything in the life, whatever I enjoy, I am enjoying because of my punyam. They all will become a luxury in my life. You know what is a luxury means? Luxury is that which you thoroughly enjoy when it is available, and you do not miss when it is not available. What is need on the other side? The opposite of luxury. Need is that which you do not recognize when it is there, which you very badly miss when it is not there. When you do not have a car at all, you are used to auto, bus and all other transport. One day somebody gives you a lift. You thoroughly enjoy. The next day, you don't get a lift. You have to follow your usual Nataraja service, walking or by bus, whatever it might be. You do not miss the car then. You are used to whatever the transport that is. One day it comes in your life as a luxury. You regularly use the transport of a bus or whatever it is. That is your regular thing. So this car lift is an addition. It is a luxury for you. So for a jnani, everything is a luxury. Every blessed thing in the life is a luxury. Therefore, when people are around, when happy moments are around, he enjoys. When they are not there, he will not miss them. Yam labdhvā, having owned up the Purnatvam, aparam lābhaṃ, all other attainments in the life or accomplishments in the life are now adhikam manyate, they are not great when compared to the Atmanishta. So they are avoidable, they are not needed gains. One can go without those gains also. So the need and luxury. Luxury is one you enjoy when it is there. When it is not there, you don't miss it. Whereas need is, you don't feel its presence, but when it is not there, you feel the loss. And you cannot live without it. Like, we enjoy good health, we enjoy oxygen, we enjoy, all things given by God. But when it comes, say, even if a small ailment you get, you know how difficult it is. When your health is perfectly well, you don't feel that it is there. You're breathing happily, But during this Corona time, you see how people found it difficult to breathe. There were so many cases that oxygen levels are falling down, and they were hospitalized. Some did not come back. So all these things are needs, necessaries. We do not know their presence when they are there. If they are not there, you cannot think of your living. So such things are called needs. So for a jnani, all the experiential pleasure, all the outside enjoyment is like a luxury. Need is same for both ajnani and jnani. Need even a jnani requires. Whereas the pleasures which an ajnani looks for and runs around is a luxury for a jnani. If it is there, he will enjoy. If it is not there, he will not brood for that. He will not make a hue and cry for that enjoyment. Because two things. One is, he thinks that Atmanishta is the highest attainment and nothing else is compared to that. Everything else is inferior to Atma Sukham. So, Atyantika lābhaṃ. He will get that Atyantika lābhaṃ. And Atyantika dukkha nivritti. What is this Atyantika dukkha nivritti? Because he knows that everything is due to Atma. The Atmanishta lābhaṃ is the highest attainment. That is one definition of samadhi. The second definition is Atyantika dukkha nivritti. It will remove all your sorrows. How it will remove all your sorrows? Your sorrow is because of your ajnanam. Because you think that you are the body, you are the mind, you are the sense organs, you are this body, mind, sense complex. So, you attach yourself with body, mind, sense complex and think that all the problems of body, mind, sense complex and think that all the problems of body, mind, sense complex are yours. And so you lament. Whereas a jnani will also have this body pains, all the diseases, all the troubles which an ajnani undergoes. He is not exempt from this. The body pains or body troubles, whatever it is. Because this is a package. So, the difference between an ajnani and jnani is, ajnani thinks that it is his pain, his problem, his disease. A jnani thinks this is not my problem, my disease, my pain. This pain belongs to my body. This problem belongs to my body. I am not the body. I am different from the body. When he understands that he is different from the body, then the distance he can comfortably have between himself and the body, mind, sense complex, and whatever the problem comes to the body, mind, sense complex, he can look at that objectively. So he can analyze and also try to treat it and will not get that psychological pain. For ajnani, more than the physical pain, the psychological pain is more. So he creates a bigger problem to himself and to the people around because he is identifying himself with the body, mind, sense complex. You look at Ramana Maharshi, he had all the tough time with the disease, but he never felt, he never expressed any difficulty, any pain, because he detached himself with the body, mind, sense complex. That does not mean he is free from the pain. He will have pain. Shastra will not say you will be free from pain, body pain and all that. No. Because you attach yourself to the body, mind, sense complex, the pain, whatever the physical pain the body gives, that is to some extent, and your mental pain is more. This mental pain is not there for a jnani. So this is what we call ātyantika dukkha nivrutti. So he can safeguard himself from dukkham, because this jnanam will act like a shock absorber. Whenever there is a calamity, whenever there is a problem, he can always face it with bold mind. So that is what this sloka says, yasminsthito na duḥkhena guruṇāpi na vicālyate. So, yasminsthitaḥ. So, having stayed in that Atmanishta, guruṇāpi duḥkhena, with the greatest calamity, with the greatest trouble in the life, na vicālyate, he is not shaken, he is not totally, depressed when the situation is adverse, when the situation is not in favor of him. So this is the advantage. So we have the fifth and sixth advantages, or fifth and sixth definitions of samadhi are: samadhi means ātyantika lābhaṃ. Samadhi is ātyantika dukkha nivrutti. These are the two definitions given by Paramatma. Then the seventh and the last definition is given in the 23rd sloka. We'll see that. Tam vidya dukkha samyogaha viyogam yoga samjitam sanischayena yoktavyo yogo nirvinna cetasa. Tam dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga samjitam vidyat saha yogaha anirvinna cetasa nischayena yoktavyaha. Vidyat tam, one should know that dukkha samyoga viyogam, which is dissociation from association with sorrow. Tam yoga samjitam, to be known as samadhi. Yogaha saha, dhyana yoga leading to that. Yoktavyaha should be practiced nischayena anirvinna cetasa, with undepressed heart. Nischayena yoktavya, one who practices this bahiranga sadhanas, one has to do this all antaranga sadhanani, bahiranga sadhanani. Paramatma gave explanations in the beginning. One has to perform the bahiranga sadhanas before coming to dhyana. And at the time of dhyanam, just before dhyanam, one has to do antaranga sadhanas. If one is not doing these sadhanas, then you cannot expect any change in the person. So, the Gita Dhyanam is not merely to acquire the knowledge. It is meant for transforming you. It brings out a sea change in you. Atma nirvinna chetasa. With a mind which is not in despair, which is not depressed. So, a person who is in Vedanta, he will not give any chance for adverse thinking and negative thoughts. So, you have to make your mind more towards the Atmanishta, more inclined towards the Atmanishta. Anirvinna chetasa. Anirvinna chetasa means without any depressed mind, without any discouragement, one has to attain this state. So, we have lots of mundane problems in day-to-day life. So, with all these problems, we may feel that, this Atma Vidya is difficult, we will lose heart and then we may drop it. One should not do that, because your problems are bound to be there. When you are in samsaram, the problems are bound to be there. We have to face the problems today or some other day. So this Atma Vidya will guard you with a special protection at the time of calamity. Like we have seen that guruṇāpi duḥkhena na vicālyate. So even at the highest difficulty, at the toughest time, a jnani is not shaken. Vedanta vakyadeva atma jnanam udeti. This is the statement of the Shastram. By listening to Shastra consistently for a long time, and if you internalize this Shastra, you get the advantage that you have the advantage is your mind is now attached towards dukkhaṃ, because whatever the problem that occurs to you, means your body, mind, sense complex are allied things, your people, your friends, they are all attached to body, mind, sense complex, and you think that dukkhaṃ is yours. Dukkha samyoga viyogam, that is called samadhi. Dukkha samyoga viyogam means because of your attachment towards body, mind, sense complex, because of your attachment towards the things of the body, mind, sense complex, you acquire dukkha. So when you realize your real self, you can address that problem. You can address the dukkha. So this is what we called dukkha samyoga viyogam. So by detaching yourself from that sorrow, how you can detach yourself from that sorrow? You know your real self is not BMS. Your real self is not body, mind, sense complex. So if you internalize the Shastram, if you understand your real self, you know that you are the Satchidananda Paramatma. When you know that you are the Satchidananda Paramatma, for Atma there is no body pains, there is no disease, there is no death, there is no birth. So where is the question of worry, where is the question of pain? So I don't have a pain, I don't have pain, I don't have worry. So like that dukkha samyoga viyogaha is the seventh advantage one gets out of this Atma Vidya. Atma Vidya and meditation. Sloka number 20th onwards up to 23rd, Paramatma gave 7 definitions. They are Chitta Uparamanam. Chitta Uparamanam is keeping your mind inward. The mind is, outwardly projected. The mind always goes outwards. Now, by your practice, you make the mind inward. This is called antarmukham, making the mind antarmukham. So, this is one definition of samadhi. The second one is Atma Darsanam. You should know the attributes of Atma and then internalize these attributes, digest it as your attribute and stay in that nishta. So, that state is called Atma Darsanam, second definition of samadhi. The third definition is Atyantika Sukham. Atyantika Sukham. Atyantika Sukham means it becomes a natural flow. So, you feel Purnatvam. When you feel Purnatvam, you don't require anything outside. So, this is the third definition. The fourth definition is Tattvanishta. Tattvanishta means staying in that nishta. A person enjoys Jivan Mukti. And the fifth one is Atyantika Labhaṃ. Atyantika Labhaṃ means this jnani takes everything in his life as a luxury. I gave you the definition of luxury. Luxury means if it comes, you enjoy. If it is not there, you don't miss it. So that type of attitude a jnani will have when it is the enjoyment. Atyantika dukkha nivrutti. Even if dukkham comes, he knows it's a fleeting thing. It comes and goes. And the dukkham, all experiential sukham and dukkham are pertaining to the lower reality. In my higher reality as Atma, I don't have any of these things. Then dukkha samyoga viyogam is the seventh one. Dukkha samyoga viyogam means detaching from the attachment of sorrow. Because you think that your body, mind, sense complex, you are attached to sorrow. So when you realize your real self, then automatically that attachment towards sorrow will be shifted towards Atma. You attach yourself with Atma and realize that there is no dukkham for you. So these are the 7 definitions Paramatma gave in this chapter 6. More we will learn in the next class. Hari Om, Om Tat Sat, Sarvam Sri Krishnarpanamastu. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudatyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.